setting in terms of how you motivate and do staff development with your staff. Now, again, I need your help on this. For example, when we talk about effective listening skills, we're talking about things like using active listening skills such as paraphrasing, silence, what we call minimum encouraging, open-ended questions, those things mirroring, and also talk about some advanced techniques such as emotional labeling, and also iMessages. When we talk about those listening skills, probe them, ask them if they're learning anything from them, if they're using them, if it affects them, if they find themselves increasing communication with their workers. In other words, if their workers find that they're listening to them, it's because of increased ability to use these 7 active listening skills that we'll be talking about in this particular training. We'll talk about stress and time management. And as you know about stress is essentially about self-care. It's also believing you have control or some measure of control over your work. The higher your control, the less stress you have. The lower your control, the more stress you have. So if they're not getting information that they need, or they're not perceiving that they're getting information they need, you better believe their stress level is going to be higher. Time management, I'm going to be spending some time on time management. As you know, the bulk of what we call time bandits is interruptions. So we're going to be looking at some techniques to lower and have more control over interruptions. And it's funny, it's not so much the caseloads or if employees show up on time or the kind of expectations of work you give your supervisors, but it's more about interruptions. Interruptions is the main bandit that keeps people from getting their work done, but also increases their stress level. So I'm going to be using a technique called time locking, and I'm going to be exploring this technique. I need your help here. Ask him about time locking. Is it feasible? Can you do it? And believe it, you're going to get a lot of pushback here on time locking because some people are going to think it's not realistic. But probe them on that. Ask them to try it to see what might happen. And I also advise you try time locking yourself. If you're a role model to them, they'll be using it. The last area we'll be talking about is what we call goal setting, and how to use goal setting to essentially develop their staff, to help motivate their staff, even those staff members that are not motivated, but certainly those high-rising, high-potential talent you want to really develop. You can do it by using something called